Welcome, you're listening to Dunestone Redemption, a podcast featuring three idiots talking about movies that probably no one will ever listen to. The format is simple. Each idiot gets to pick a movie and make the other two watch it. Then we give our opinions on said film. And unless you're Kate Beckinsale, we don't allow guests. But we do value your feedback. So drop us a message at DunestoneRedemption.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Dunestone Films.
Perfect.
Snazzy.
I like it.
Wonderful.
Sounded good.
By the way, if you haven't been to our website lately, it looks a little differently, so visit that.
It's new and improved.
And I love Kate Beckinsale. For the record, in case
Yes,
she's
you
listening.
Yeah.
In case she's listening, she can come on the show.
And Pete Davidson, in case he's listening. He can come on the show, too.
Lucky guy.
He's the new John Mayer. He's just dating everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slaying, out there slaying.
Mm-hmm.
Must be rough. All right, so should we get into our three movies we reviewed this last
Yes, sir.
month? All right, let's start off with Roma. Eric, do you want to give your opinions on Roma?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get you going.
It started by looking at IMDb. The rating it got at the time I did this was an 8.
Wow.
When I wrote this, now it's a 7.9, so it's trending downward. As we talked about this, I didn't have such a strong opinion like you did about the film. I didn't hate it, but if I had to watch that car pulling that damn house one more time, you know what I'm saying? I was going to scream and run over that
Yep.
dog poop. I felt like for the movie that there was way too much being done about the scenery, and it caused that movie to be entirely too long because of the long shots
I agree.
across the countryside.
continuous shots.
The continuous shots. And it was like, that piece was really bad. But on the other side of it, that riot scene where they were shooting that wide riot scene
With the fires?
looking down on the... no, not the fires. When they're looking down on the street from the
Okay.
furniture store.
Yeah.
That was really, really well shot. The fire scene was really well shot. I thought it was very cool. And thinking about being in some third world country where you don't have a way to get a fire and you bucket brigade it.
Yeah.
I just thought that really gave you a glimpse of other cultures. I didn't mind any of that. I could really have done without the dong scene. For the guys doing the martial arts in the nude. I'm not into dong scenes very much. The story itself, though.
Oathie's making me laugh.
Do you remember when the owner of the house comes home and is
The doctor.
complaining? Yeah, the doctor is complaining about the job that and they work day and night. They never stopped.
Yeah.
And it kind of broke my heart watching that. Like, what a jerk! And he's there talking to his wife about, and he was a jerk in the whole
movie.
And the monotonous nature of cleaning that dog poop up day after day. It just, for me, it was very. It was a sad story. I didn't hate the movie. I enjoyed parts of it. I really did. The heartbreak at the end was really, caught my attention, and so all in all, I'd say it was fine. I don't know that I'd say, hey, go out and watch it, but that's my opinion.
I'll go next since Russ, this was your pick, and much like you, I hated this movie. I hated this movie.
By the way, Othie kept texting me. This is so long, I can't make it through.
This is such a long movie.
And that went on about 3 days.
It took you 3.5 days to watch
It took me
it.
three sittings to watch this movie, to complete this movie on Netflix, and I just couldn't get in. I wasn't in the right state of mind. It just wasn't for me. Tough to watch. And when I finally was like, all right, I'm into it, I wasn't in the right state of mind because then the baby dies, and then I was just like, now I'm pissed. Now I'm just sad. It just made me sad. The story, I don't know. It's a long year. That's a shitty year. She had a long shitty year.
How'd you feel about the dong scene?
That didn't really, because I was just like, what am I watching? Like, because he's got beautiful cinematography. If that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Shot amazing.
Wide angle dong scenes.
But like that, and like I was telling Russ, when I first started, I didn't think it was playing because the way he shot it with that grate in the water, like, is that even playing? And it took me, I had to pause it to see that it actually was going. I finally went back and saw your airplane scene. You're right. That was
There's so
impressive.
many scenes where there's things in the background, in
You
the
don't
sky,
notice. Yeah.
and things like that, that you're like, this was truly one take.
Well,
The
this
way
is
that thing is moving across in the background and things. It was pretty cool.
his name's Alfonso, but I can't pronounce his last name. The
I
director.
think it's Curon.
Okay, Curon, and he did. I love No Children from Men. Or wait, no, what's it? No, Children of Men and Gravity. He did both of those. I think are awesome. So he can shoot a movie.
Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He did. I think he did the best Harry Potter. He did the Prisoner of Azkaban, which changed the whole tone of that series.
He directed that?
Uh huh.
Oh, it's the same. I had no idea.
So he's done some great movies, but man, this one, it's beautiful, but I just did not like it. So I would say, if you want to go see this, don't. You can find it a lot better. If you like foreign films and like to read a lot, and I'm not very smart, you might like this, but hard no for me. Hard no.
Okay.
Russell?
Had you watched it before you recommended it?
Yes, of course. I thought it was great. You knew I was going to think it was great.
Yeah.
It had everything I wanted to see. It was
Dong
slow.
scenes?
It was slow. It had dongs. It had continuous shots. It was beautifully set. I didn't know anything about Mexico in the 70s.
Yeah.
And after this, I kind of went in and did a little bit of research historically about, because it seemed like a very modern city to me. And now a lot of times when we think of Mexico City, we don't think of it as that modern. You know, the NFL is never going to go back there again.
Yeah, they
Right.
actually are next year.
I know, but
yeah.
but I just thought it was interesting. I thought the journey of the maid went from someone who just worked for them when they were a complete family unit
Yeah.
to someone who became a family member by
Yeah.
the end of that
I
film.
see
I
that.
mean, when she took them on vacation, she was like, "Hey, you're not working." Although the first thing she did was pick up all the dang suitcases and bring them in the house, you
Yeah,
know.
Right.
But and I thought that she was going to face some major rejection by the lady of the household.
Boy, she didn't, did she?
When she got pregnant, she didn't. She
was
understood. She took her in.
Yeah.
Grandma went to buy the baby a crib. So I don't know. I think the maid kind of, it showed her going from being an orphan. She didn't even really know where her mother was, to becoming a member of this family. Had the doctor stayed and not left the mother, that may not have happened. I do have an interesting question for you guys I'd like to pose. Who's the main character of this film?
That
Maid.
girl, the maid.
Do you think
I would
it
say-
is?
I
I
would say
think
the
so.
maid, yeah.
Okay, because I was kind of torn between, is she the main character or is the mother the main character?
Well, I see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know, because is she a supporting actress or is she the best actress? That type of thing. But no, I thought it was really good, man. It's beautiful.
It's
I don't.
beautiful.
I want to be shown honesty of someone else's life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an
I agree
honest
with
portrayal of someone else's life. It doesn't have to be over the top all the time. It doesn't have to be overly complicated.
Right.
And that's what I really thought I got in this film. Now, it was some slow.
Yeah.
There was some slow there,
Yeah.
you know. There was
And
some...
it could have been edited. I mean, I know
Oh,
you're
yeah.
trying to show something, but it's like you're a guy who complained about the Punisher TV show being too long, but you got to admit that
Yeah.
some of this movie could be edited out.
Yeah, I think so. I think some of those beautiful continuous shots, we could have gotten the point across if they weren't quite so long and beautiful.
Exactly.
Yes.
I almost felt like I was watching a Wes Anderson claymation film.
The
The way
he
some of
moved.
those shots moved
Yeah.
across the
I
screen
can
and
see
things.
that.
You know, I was like, wow, this could be claymation, but he managed to do this with real life. That's even harder.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yeah. So I would say go see it.
I'm on the fence because
I say
I
no.
Mm-hmm.
did enjoy it, but I wouldn't. I don't know that I would recommend it to anybody.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we got a yes, maybe, and a hard no.
A hard yes, a hard no.
Hard
the
no.
movie.
All right, so we'll move
So that
on.
wait a minute, that gives us a.
What rating
Is that a Redford, a Hoskins,
Oh,
and
I,
And,
That's
we'll
like a
talk
middle.
about. I think we do a little bit later on
That's
about
like
the
a
rating
middle.
system.
yeah,
so,
we have a new rating system coming out.
yeah. So yeah, I think I'd give it like a 6 or 7. So like
Mhm.
I'd give it a Sparkly Vampire, a Robert Pattinson,
You-
which is a 1. So
yeah,
way
I'd give
down
it like
there.
a Robert Downey Jr. I think.
I'd give it a Redford, which is right below De Niro.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so
that is
I like it.
impressive. All right, so we'll move on. Easy, I'll bring this to you since it's my pick. We'll go with Bohemian Rhapsody. What do you think on that?
Me and the wife watched this one together. I don't have a lot of notes on it. My note says Fat Bastard made an appearance in the movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hated that. But
It's
I'll
like,
tell you why.
for
Mike
God's
Myers was
sake.
like, "How can I make more money off of Queen?"
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still got the same costume that I wore in Fat Bastard. So
Oh, that made me so mad.
Why did that make you mad?
Because you got a guy 20 years later that they put him in the movie to set up a joke from a movie he was in.
right.
That's all that
That's
was.
great.
I hate that was too meta.
Oh.
I didn't like it. That made me
I
mad.
think he was a producer on the film
He
as
was.
well, though.
He was.
Probably.
So Mike helped him make it get made.
Yeah.
This little book here that I started writing my movie reviews down in is it asked for memorable scenes. I love the scene where he was playing the piano on the floor backwards.
Upside down, yeah.
This for me.
That was a pretty scene, yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
really nicely shot. I enjoyed the idea of it. The scene with the boy in the AIDS clinic
Yeah.
where he's eyeballing
Kind of looking at him.
as-
Yeah, like, wow.
Wow, yeah, and that part, and then there was a great scene when they flew into Wimbledon. I don't know how they did that. They flew in
Yeah, I know what you
out
mean
with the
now.
crowd,
Yeah,
and I
okay.
really liked the way that was shot. I remember a memorable quote was when he started playing the "We Will Rock You."
Mhm.
He says, "Oh, that has potential." That that was the
Yeah.
whole take on one of these great songs that they
Right.
shot or they sang. So I enjoyed that. The movie in and of itself, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Did you
Way
feel
more
like
than
it
the
was
rest.
two films?
It did, yeah, absolutely. That's a great
everything
way
that
to
was
put
live
it.
made. It was everything that was live aid.
Yeah,
And that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
I got tired of hearing about some of his life and party that could have been told a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that this should be a Best Picture nominee.
That was my question to you guys. Do you think this should be up?
No.
Or do you think it's just a down year
No.
overall?
I think it's a pretty weak year.
It's a very weak year.
And for me, it's just like that movie. Would I recommend? Yeah, sure. If you want to see Bohemian Rhapsody, see it. I'm not going to come to your house and keep you from doing that. But
Do not watch that film.
The best part of the movie was the interaction with the other band members.
I agree.
Not so much Freddie Mercury. It was the band itself, and I'm glad that they did that and highlighted that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would say recommend it. Once again, I'd give it about a 7 or an 8. So I'll give it a Robert Downey Jr. again. But yeah, that's my take.
My go.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, so to me it did seem like two films.
Yep.
It seemed like the first film where he was playing Freddie Mercury as somebody who was mentally disabled. I mean, were you not thinking Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder the entire time? He's going, you know what I mean? I'm like, what in the hell?
I can see
Freddie
that.
Mercury, I think, was a complicated, intelligent, well-spoken man from day one.
Yeah.
And I think what they were trying to show that he went from like shy maybe
Right.
to more outspoken, but until he was at the scene in the rain where he told that Patrick guy to take a hike, I don't ever want to see your face again.
Mm-hmm.
That is when he started really playing the character of Freddie Mercury. What I feel was probably much more realistic to what that guy was in real life. Now, obviously, with the wife living next door and stuff, he wasn't somebody who was in touch with reality all the time.
Right.
But I just feel like he played him two different ways through that film. And until that film where he took control of his own life, he played him as almost somebody who was mentally handicapped. It was very strange to me.
Okay.
That second half is pretty good.
Yeah.
If it was a made-for-television film, that second half was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
But again, it was just Live Aid. A lot of the things, the bickering with the band and things like that, didn't it seem like it was just way too friendly?
It did. It was not
All the
like
time?
what it really was.
Oh, Freddie. There you go again. I
Yeah.
didn't buy it. I did not buy it. So obviously, it had a major influence from the other members of the band who were not willing to come off and look like turds ever.
Right.
So I just didn't believe this film. He does a great job in the performance aspect at Live Aid. I think everything else was kind of poo-poo.
How do you pronounce his name? Is it Rami?
It's
Rami.
Rami
Malek.
Rami Malek, yeah.
Do you think he should be up for best actor?
No.
I think he really struggled with the mouth piece.
I think they did a disservice to him by doing that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it was too much.
Yeah, so I'd probably give it a Bob Saget.
A Bob Saget.
About a 4.
About a 4.
Well, this being my pick, I didn't like it either. I really didn't like it. I mean,
sometimes that's the way it goes.
I thought he was kind of strong in the character, but I knew nothing about Freddie Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
So not knowing anything about him, I thought maybe he did a good job. This movie I thought was good, but it didn't break the mold. It wasn't any better than Walk the Line or what's the other one I like, Ray. Kind of on par with that. I was thinking the same thing. It's 2 movies. It's this weird thing, and then it's an awesome Live Aid. But if you like Live Aid, why not just watch Live Aid that's recorded?
Right.
So why need that? My favorite parts were watching them come up with the music. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Like the backwards,
I
or
really enjoyed
when they're
that.
fighting, they do the "We Will Rock You" or not?
Yeah.
No, it was Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah.
I like those, but who knows if that's even
It seems
remotely
like
true.
a great song was the end to every argument.
Right.
And maybe they were just trying to show that it was the tension within the band that made it great.
Yes. What upset me most about this, I think, is like once Live Aid got over and he walked off stage, and it was like, okay, he's dead. No, he died like 6 or 7 years later than that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't instant. Like he went and became a recluse, but they passed it as like, oh, Live Aid was the show, and then he was gone, and he was set Live Aid because he died. No, they played that up. I didn't like that, but the best thing about it is I did get some Queen music that I was into, and I did see an article where when Wayne's World did come out, it got Queen back to number 1.
Right,
exactly. And when this
that
came
went,
back up, 5 or 6 songs went back up to the top 10.
And
So
that's really
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I'd watch this one on an airplane. That's the rating I give.
In the rain.
In the rain.
On a summer day.
Yeah.
Would you give it
when you're out here?
Heading somewhere north where it's cold.
Yeah.
If you're going south and going to have fun, don't
Would
watch
you
this
give it
movie.
a Saget or what's 3?
Oh, I'd probably give it a Saget. Yeah.
A 4.
Robert
it a
Patrick.
Yeah. All right, so our last one, I'll start it off, if I guess. It's called Green Book, and this was your pick?
Yep,
Is that right?
that's my pick.
All right, well, I really enjoyed this, but I felt the movie was really slow. And I'm going to be honest, and I talk about the elephant in the room. This is a movie about race, right?
Yeah.
It's a race movie, and I felt they didn't capture that at all. I felt that, if you haven't seen the movie, it's the guy that takes a black musician to the South, and they kind of travel with each other. Anyway, the main character, Tony, I don't think Doc really hated Tony. I think Doc looked at Tony as he's the right man for the job.
Right.
And the exact same thing, I don't think that Tony hated Doc. I think he knew he was the ends to some job and some money that he needed for his family. That was it. I mean, they come together at the very, very end. That seemed forced. In the bar and then at Christmas.
And the families say that it was not really the way it was.
Oh, it wasn't?
Yeah.
See, and it just seemed like they forced that. When I think of movies that made an impact on me, I think of like The Big Sick or Do the Right Thing or even Remember the Titans, where they have that big, like, they're at each other, they don't like each other and they get past that race issue. I didn't really see that in this. And that's why I didn't really like it. I was more interested when the wife handed him, here's your green book where you can stay. I'm like, oh, we're going to find out about what that is. That was a 2-minute thing so they could call the movie Green Book, and that really ticked me off. So, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy this movie at all either. Of our 3 picks, there wasn't one where I'm like, that's a great movie, go see.
Huh.
I thought Viggo was good as an actor, but was he? I don't know. What's Doc's name? How do you pronounce his name?
Marshall.
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali. I like him, but I don't think he did anything different than anything I've seen him in.
I do agree with that.
So I really like him as Raimi on House of Cards, but I don't know. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So maybe another Bob Saget on my end.
Interesting.
Number 4. I liked it. I mean, overall, I had a pretty good general impression of it. I think that they were trying to show the racism that was going to be obviously visited in the South that he was going to encounter, and I thought it was interesting that they mentioned that he did it on purpose. He went down there because he knew he would encounter racism,
Right.
and they showed that Viggo Mortensen's character was definitely a racist in the beginning of that film.
Yeah.
I mean, he threw away the
Lots.
cups that those plumbers
Right.
drank from.
Right.
That was how much it was kind of ingrained in him. Yeah, I don't think there was enough conflict really between them, but I think it was because there couldn't be, because at the end of the day he was working for the guy.
Right.
True.
I don't know. It's one of those things that it's hard to say it, but it's a feel good racism film.
I see what you mean.
Right?
Right.
It's Driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
It's The Help, where the main characters are oftentimes the white folks who you really want to feel good about because they were so nice to those black people.
Right.
You know? And
But that's what you got out of this, is that the white person was nice to the black.
yeah, well, I think that's what they were really willing to show us is he was a guy that was willing to overcome his racism.
I can see that too, because think of all the times that Tony went to Doc and here, try this chicken or do this or do that, and Doc would just kind of do his own thing until he got involved with Tony. So I see where you're going with that.
But it was more like a friendless person to me. I go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll finish later.
Oh hell! I was listening to you. I don't even know where I'm going now.
So you're talking about a friendless person that was befriended by the most unlikely, and I get it to feel good. That's what I like about it.
It's definitely an Odd Couple film.
Yeah,
it's an Odd Couple film, but I think it's like, oh, here was this racism issue, and let's show you a film where a white guy and a black guy became friends.
Right. I get that.
You know,
and that's what gets the press.
No, and it is. Those are the films that get made, but sometimes you just feel bad about it.
But this isn't the one where you walk out and go have conversations with other people you've never met before about this, or your friends or anything. This isn't do the right thing where you're like, did you see that? Oh my god, and you talk about it with everybody. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty good film. I liked it. It's a very entertaining film. I liked that he brought in not only the race aspect, but the fact that he was gay.
Yeah.
As well.
That's true.
And Tony was like, hey, it's a complicated world, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not mad at you for that either. And so that, I think, is when they really became friends.
When did that happen? Was that when he wouldn't play at that?
No. That was when
he got beat up.
When he got arrested. When he got arrested, and Tony convinced them, and he thought it was wrong the way Tony did it. But Tony was like, "Listen, you should be kissing my ass. I just saved your butt."
Yeah.
You know. So I would probably give her. I'd give it a. I'm gonna go with Downey Jr. I'd give it a 7.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, for me, listen. For me, in the world of movies, you're always going to see the same thing with me. Is that I think the world is shitty and terrible enough on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I want to escape that.
Yeah.
And I want to walk away from a film feeling good about it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That is what I judge all this off of. I'm a big enough asshole at the end of the day on my own. I want a movie that says, hey, it's okay to be a good guy.
Well-known asshole.
Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Memorable, if I could say that tonight, scene for me was the scene with the rock that he picked up off the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That he was going to steal.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was right. It was
and
on
he
the ground.
did steal.
Yeah, he did.
At the
steal.
end of the film, he still had
The
that
best
rock.
part for me though was that gun in the parking lot.
I knew you had a
Oh,
gun.
yeah.
I knew you had a gun. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, I mean that part was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved
Mm-hmm.
it. And I liked. It wasn't a big deal to them that robbery was 2 black guys that were going to rob him.
Yeah.
It was the life lesson is don't flash your cash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
life lesson was don't flash your cash.
Yep. I mean,
in a bar, don't flash. Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed it. For me, it was feel good. I liked Mortensen. Now, do I believe he deserves a Best Actor for it? No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I agree with you about Ali. It's the same character I've seen every
Yeah.
time. I really
Did you guys notice how he had kind of physically transformed himself in that film, though?
I agree.
I gotta say that Doc was like 110 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had these thin, delicate hands.
Uh-huh.
Where if you think of like Remy from House of Cards,
Yeah, he's a big.
he was a bruiser.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the other films I've seen him in, he's a big strapping guy. So
Right.
I think he underdid a physical transformation for that role as well.
Who's the actress that played the? I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt.
you're fine.
Who's the actress that played the wife? I know I've seen her. I thought she stole all of her scenes.
Oh, she did. She did.
Killed it. And every time she came on the scene, I was more like into it. Like, oh, there she is. What's she up to?
I can't remember her name either. She was in Grey's Anatomy. She's in
Hawkeye's wife in the
Linda Cardinelli.
Avengers.
Yeah, Linda Cardinelli. She's Bloodlines. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
She's the sister in that.
So I'm just saying that for me it was from on the list of best pictures this year. It's my favorite.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would give it. I'm gonna give it a Duvall.
Okay.
An 8. I like feel good movies. Maybe I don't understand all the race things because I'm not a racist. You know what I mean? So I don't get everything. All I cared about was that these are two people. One was very outgoing but needed some social transformation. The other was a loner but had the social. They both had something the other person needed.
Right.
And in the end, they both became better people. So that's So that's my take on it.
And now I hear more. The more we keep talking about it, I change my tone a little bit. Where I did like it a little bit better because I keep thinking the letters he wrote back and some of the stuff I did enjoy. So
wasn't that great? It's like, hey, I can help you write these letters, and she knew damn good and well it wasn't him, but it was the thought.
Oh, absolutely,
it was great. I like that.
Well, I haven't seen everything, but of everything I've seen, this is probably my favorite Best Picture. I just think this is a down year.
Gotcha.
So. Cool.
All right, so
let's talk about what we want to review next month.
Well, let's throw in our documentary here.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, absolutely.
Our documentaries that we watched. Well, the documentary that we were watching was Fire, about the Fire Festival on Netflix. Now, there's 2 documentaries out right now that dropped about the same time.
And you watched
both.
You did watch both.
I watched them both last night. I'm now an expert on this.
Okay. Very good. So you go last, huh?
Yes, yeah, okay. I'll go last on this.
And you and I watched the same one on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
As far as documentaries go, I think it was I enjoyed it. I mean, it was first class photography because that's what they were doing in the shoots. They were filming all that. They were listen, I'm not real sure how this guy goes to prison and Ja Rule is still out running around. Because he's a freaking thief too. He knew damn good and well that wasn't going to work out. He knew that they were spending money that they didn't have, and that they weren't going to be able. And he gets off scot-free.
Yep.
Now this guy he deserves.
There is a $100 million civil lawsuit that he has been named a defendant in. So he may not get off scot-free, but he's not going to do any jail time.
Well, I don't give a crap about the people that lost $5,000 that they were going to go to this concert. I think about those workers.
Absolutely, yeah. I think about them all. I give a crap about everybody who got defrauded out of this.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't care near much about them as I do.
Well, yeah. The rich kids that were there for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had a crappy day at the airport.
I thought the documentary was really well shot. I thought it was something that you really did get behind the scenes, and the people hauling tail out of there as fast as they could when they realized it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
The crappy living conditions. I think they did a good job of all those things.
For sure.
Go ahead.
Well, I like the documentary, but when I watched it and when it was over, I didn't feel like I learned anything new that I hadn't already read from the news or seen anything different. So that was my thing. I was like, okay, well, I've already seen this, but I just wasted 2 hours.
Yep.
My main thing is...
I do get you.
What was the main guy's name? I'm sorry, I know it's
Billy.
Ja Rule.
Billy.
I wish I was half as good as manipulator as Billy and Ja Rule, because I'd have a line out the door to give me a kidney if I wanted one.
Absolutely.
These guys could just spin it. The one thing I kind of got on board with, and I can't remember who said it, but they said, Woodstock had all these problems. They had rain, they had this, and they had that. And everyone always talks about Woodstock. So I could see why they kept going.
They kept going.
And kept pushing the envelope to say, let's make this happen.
Do you think that he really thought up until 2 days before the concert it was going to happen?
My personal opinion after watching, I watched it again with Taylor. And when they started putting money on this money band to get your money and get your... Once I think they knew that, I think they knew it was sunk. I really think they knew it was sunk.
Who was the band that backed out there? The big band?
Blink-182.
Which, why are you going to go down to the Bahamas to see
When they backed out, though, at that point you got to go...
All the other bands
I can't
knew.
get Blink-182 to show up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I've like you guys feel bad for the workers. I read a Kickstarter campaign where they did raise money for the lady that was feeding everybody at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And those
that's cool.
FEMA tents, and yeah, you had to know, but
Is Kickstarter like the young version of GoFundMe?
pretty much.
Okay.
But maybe it was a GoFundMe. I maybe said that wrong.
Okay,
It was one of the
Well,
two.
Kickstarter's the
I don't know
same.
anything about it.
Yeah, they're both the same.
I thought that
Someone
was
said
like a
too in the
drink
documentary
Kickstarter.
that the Fry Festival happened when they went down there with all the models and shot that.
Yeah.
And it kind of, it goes back to just, people, the social media influencers, that's not real life.
Right.
And I'm guilty of it too. I get on Instagram and think, oh, that's great, that's awesome. Like we talked about, what was we talked about where they get paid to post? There was something we
You were
watched.
talking about that, about Icon.
There's
that-
a
that
documentary.
with DJ
Yeah, and
Kelly Eater.
they get post so
You talked
much
about
money.
that.
And
Oh yeah, the something Beyond the Meme or something like
Yeah.
that.
Beyond the Meme, that's what
that
it
was another document, and it made sense. And so I've been trying to stay off of like the Instagram and that stuff because that's all it is. And so your models that were dancing around, playing with the pigs and doing all that, and that was the festival, and they sold it well. And Orange Dot sold how much? I don't feel bad for the people either. I'm with you. I'm like, you got $5,000 to go blow on that. You got more money, when you do it. So, but it was okay. But I feel like I'd already seen it just based
agree
on
with that.
news.
Yeah. So I watched both.
Which one did you like best?
I watched half of the Hulu one, and then I just got curious, and I switched over to the Netflix one, and then when it was done, I finished off the rest of the Hulu one.
Okay.
Completely
Very
different?
strange way. The Netflix one, my note was, this one is prettier. It's way prettier.
Okay.
Because it's made...
With that footage.
Well, but it's made from some of the promo guys that were behind Fire Festival to begin with.
Gotcha.
And they don't mention them as much. Did you ever hear the term F. Jerry
No.
in that? Okay.
remember.
Well, the Hulu one talks about them extensively. Because F. Jerry, the name of it is F-U-C-K Jerry, is the the PR company that was the big push online manipulators behind this thing that had been hired by this Billy guy who knew stuff was going wrong and kept pushing it till the very end. And they even ended up going, some of the guys from there, and filming it and stuff. But yeah, they knew it was toast. So the Netflix documentary was made by them. The Hulu one is a very different documentary. It's not near as pretty, but it goes a lot more into like actually how it was all carried out. Like how this Billy guy has been frauding people for forever.
Oh, seriously?
With that Magnesis card or whatever. It went into real depth about that. And he's actually interviewed in the Hulu one.
Okay.
Now, Hulu admitted they paid him to interview. Because he wouldn't show up to be interviewed without paying him. But that doesn't mean that he had any control over the interview, because they roasted his ass
Oh, they did.
during that interview. They're like, well, we think you're a liar, and we think pretty much everything you say is a lie.
Yeah.
And do you realize you're a compulsive liar? And he said, well, tell me one thing I've lied about since I've gotten here. And then they rewind it, and they show like 3 things he's lied about. You know what I mean? Not to him in his face,
Yeah.
but... So... If you want to get more of the nuts and bolts of it, then the Hulu documentary is the one to watch. The Netflix one,
I'm not going to
It's
watch
just
it anymore,
prettier.
so this is for the audience.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
not
for the
watching.
audience.
Good.
if you were thinking about watching one based on a recommendation or something, the Hulu one would be the one to watch. It's a
Okay.
little slower, it's not as pretty, but man, is it informative, super
Okay.
informative. So that's my pick. Yeah, I liked it.
How much money
I
would
like
you
them
give to if you were frauded like that? Would you pay to punch Billy in the face?
How crazy
quite a
is
bit.
it? How crazy is it that he starts this scam the second he's out on bail?
Yeah, and it gets away with it. I mean, they're
Well,
not
that's what
questioning-
got his bail revoked.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
why
thought
he ended up instantly.
Yeah.
And I don't remember which one it was now, but on the Netflix one, did they show the film producer guy he hired to follow him around?
No.
Okay, on the Hulu one, they show footage of him telling this other VIP NYC guy what to say to people on the phone.
Wow.
They're there in a big penthouse in New York.
Yeah, that is-
that's
that's-
oh yeah,
yeah.
I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. Yeah.
And he's so delusional.
Yeah.
He had hired a film producer guy, like a documentarian,
To spin it.
to come follow him
Yeah.
around and film it. I was like, are you nuts?
Right.
He's insane. He's
He is
just
insane.
delusional. He thinks he's Richie Rich, and he's
Yeah, I wish I could manipulate people
Poor,
like that.
poor.
he's just a con man. Just
he's,
a con
He's
man.
a good, yeah. con
God
man.
bless him.
All right, so those are our movies. So let's start with Oath. What are you recommending for us to watch next month? What are you punishing me with?
I'm going out of your comfort zone. It wasn't really out of mine, but the only reason I picked this when we were talking about our top 10 a couple months ago, everyone had this on their top
It
25.
is. I don't
Everywhere.
disagree with you.
And so I'm like, I gotta check it out because I also like it when it's on Amazon Prime and it's right there for me. So
And you haven't seen it yet?
I saw half of it. I'm
Okay.
not finished, but that's why I've seen so much. I want to talk about it. So my pick is Hereditary.
Hereditary.
Make sure I get that right. Not Hereditary. Hereditary.
You got a redheaded Terry?
Hereditary. Hereditary.
I've never met one of those.
It's so far. I can't wait to go finish it.
Okay.
I'm like that
Got
right
it.
now.
Mr. Rushing.
My pick is Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot.
And who does that have in it?
Who doesn't it have in it? It's got Joaquin Phoenix, Jonah Hill, Rooney Mara, Jack Black.
Is this a comedy?
It's a true story.
Huh.
So, Gus Van Sant's the director. He's a pretty famous director. And I'll read you the synopsis. On the rocky path to sobriety after a life-changing accident, John Callahan discovers the healing power of art, willing his injured hands into drawing hilarious, often controversial cartoons.
Okay.
So he's a guy who gets hurt. Obviously, he's in a wheelchair. That's why they're saying he won't get far on foot. I haven't seen it yet, but it's got a great-looking cast and
Cool.
indie film, and it's I believe it was I think it was an Amazon film, maybe? I'm not sure.
So for our listeners, where can it be found to be watched?
Amazon. It's on Prime right now.
Cool. Okay. Very cool. Easy. What about you? What are you thinking?
I am recommending that we watch the movie called Blind Spotting.
Yep.
Men
at Work, right?
It's the band Men at Work. It's a comedy crime drama. It says, while on probation, a man begins to evaluate his relationship with his volatile best friend.
Say you watch the trailer, a bit of race tones in that too. We'll see how that hits.
Yep.
Be interesting. Yeah, that was on my list too. If one
It's
wanted to
also
see.
on the top 10 of a lot of people for 2018. So
Really good. Okay.
that's my recommendation.
And do we want to talk about our documentary we're going to watch?
Yep. We last month we talked about Free Solo.
Yep.
The unfortunate part is it has not come out
No.
on video yet.
It should be in 2 weeks.
So yeah, 2 weeks it should be. So our documentary we're gonna watch is Free Solo, and we'll
There's
give
something
you our
that Russ and
feedback.
I watched that you should watch too, and it helped me with the main character of Free Solo.
Alex Honnold.
Not a character, he's the real person.
Yes.
They sit Alex in a room and they make him watch famous movies that have rock climbing scenes, and he picks them apart, and it's hilarious and it's awesome. It's like
Cliffhanger from
Cliffhanger's one of them. He
Stallone.
said, no one.
He was like,
it's,
okay, so you literally cannot grab onto an icicle with a hand. It
without
doesn't
a glove,
work.
It doesn't work. And then he did. My favorite one is when he's doing Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2.
Mhm.
He's like, he's not bad. This is pretty good. It's watch that. You'll like that. I got a kick out of that. So
Is that on like YouTube?
I think you can find it there. It was actually one of the Prime things I saw. I don't know who put it out.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a commercial type
Yeah.
thing. If I find it, I'll tag you in it on
Okay.
Facebook. Or
It's-
if I find it, I'll share it to the Dunestone.
It's about 30 minutes. It's pretty good though.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right on.
All right, I think that's all we got for this segment.
That's it.
Once again, check out our website, DunestoneRedemption.com. All kinds of new, different things we're doing on there. If you leave a post, we would tag it up to the page so other people can see it. Othie's decided to watch his movie now. He couldn't wait any longer. Right there. Look us up on Facebook, Twitter, and all the links to anywhere, any of those places is on that website. So,
Yep. We got the
Social
Instagram.
media, we're on it.
We got
All right.
that.
Thanks for listening.
peace.
See you later.